Hi Tejot, how are you?
Hi Karan, I'm very well. How are you?
I'm very good. It's nice to connect with you. Uh, so,
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to
uh,
be part of this
mhm.
video that you've asked me to join you, and hopefully it can benefit uh, the the viewers who are watching this.
Okay, let's start this interview. So, it will be great if you can tell us about yourself and how your journey started and how you started ACCA. That's great.
Right. I think it happened by luck. I did my bachelor's of commerce from Delhi University,
Mm-hmm.
and Ernst and Young, which is one of the big four, was there to hire from our campus placements.
Mm-hmm.
I was one of the 20 people that they hired in
Oh,
2012.
great.
Uh, and I joined them. So I got the offer in April, May 2020 to 2012, and I joined them in July. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I started with them, and I was part of Global Delivery Services, which is
Mm.
GDS. At
Yes,
that time, it
yes.
was Global Talent Hub. It
Okay.
was the backend of Ernst and Young, but we
Mm-hmm.
cater global clients, so it was much broader in horizon. And that's where I learned about ACCA and also learned about CPA.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, EY really helps you to pick up any of these two qualifications to advance your career, both for professional and personal development. I
Mm-hmm.
chose ACCA because I saw myself much more aligned with IFRS and
Mm-hmm.
more with Europe. Hence, I went for that.
That's great.
Uh,
And the best thing about Big Fours, they also provide, you know, like AC said, they provide educational reimbursement also. That's a great thing about them also. After joining the B with BCom, they also give the reimbursement so people can complete their professional qualification also. They gain the experience also. That's a great thing also.
Definitely, it's a no-brainer. I think if you are part of, if you graduate and you
Mm-hmm.
get hired at a big four, if they
Mm-hmm.
are supporting your qualification to advance, there's nothing better than that, provided you're
Mm-hmm.
interested in the field.
Mm-hmm.
EY helped me get
Mm-hmm.
proper guidance, both from my seniors at the organization. They helped me financially, like, in supporting paying fees, paying for your exams and for your tuitions. I didn't take any tuitions, but they used to provide for coaching if anyone wants. And then they also used to give you something kind of a bonus, if you clear an
Mm-hmm.
exam. Uh, so all in all,
Oh,
it's a great package. Yeah. I don't know if they do it now, but they used to do it when I was there.
yes, yes, they are doing now. It's a company
Right.
policy to help employees to get their education, professional qualification. Um, One thing I saw also that you have rank in almost every subject. I don't know what exam technique you adopt, but you have
Yeah.
got world rank number one in P2, and you got India top rank in F5 and F6, and world rank number three in F9.
Right. Yeah, man. I have forgotten most of them, but I won't be humble and say that it was all luck and all. I'll be honest.
Mhm.
I did work very hard. Uh, I did study a lot. The thing is that till 10th standard, I was really not very good, not a very good student academically.
Mhm.
I scored 73% in my 10th standard, which is pretty low if you know how India and how cut through the competition is.
Yeah, but
And
it's not
once I hit
very
the
low.
rock bottom,
It's great. It's not that
yeah.
very low.
So when I scored this 73% in 10th, and I couldn't
Mhm.
get science. I wanted to take up science, and
Okay.
I couldn't get because I didn't qualify with that 75 threshold. And I was
Oh.
given commerce. So that happened by chance. And that's when I decided I'll always focus on my studies. Uh, that's when, the academically I started getting stronger and stronger. Uh, with ACCA, when I was studying for it, the one thing which I realized was the course curriculum is not rote learning. It's not
Mhm.
like your BCom or your school studies. Here, a lot of it is conceptual and applying it.
You know, the
So
best
it
thing
was really
about
fascinating.
The best thing
Yeah.
about ACCA, they provide the resources they have. The resources are tremendously good, and the support they provide, the flexibility it have, it's great. Always, when I was doing ACCA, I love the resources. I was applying my knowledge, and whatever the things I learned, that's great to do this course.
Definitely, definitely. And like one of the resources that which really helped me be
Mm-hmm.
successful as the ranks show was one of this online portal called opentuition.com,
Mm-hmm.
right? Fantastic resource. They have, when you go to the website, first of all, it's free. So you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to pay anything. You
Mm-hmm.
just go in there, you download the notes, and there are these amazing pre-recorded lectures. There's a nice community as well where you can ask questions as well.
Mm-hmm.
I joined that. I did it for all my subjects. When I say all, I did it for all. And it's really not that hard.
Mm-hmm.
This Doing this, it avoided me going through all the textbooks, the study textbooks. Further on, how I helped build on this knowledge is by solving revision kit questions.
Mm-hmm.
Not once, not twice, but probably three times. Once like a month in advance, once before the exam, before the exam or into the study leave. And
Mm-hmm.
finally, I used to give a simulation exam where I was timing myself, to get that right. So these were the two things which I used. A was open tuition, both lectures and the text that they give. And second is the revision kit from BPP.
That's very important. I appreciate your advice, right? For like BPP kit, these are very important. Mock exam very important. Many students didn't attempt. That's why they failed. But it's very important to do the study text, revision kit, and at the end mock examinations. Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, what advice you want to give to newly qualified ACCA as a newly qualified and looking for the jobs?
Yeah. See, I think ACCA's journey in India, when I was there, when I
Mhm.
did it, when I started it in 2012, and what it is now, it's have it has had an exponential growth. I remember 8 years back or 7 years back when I used to tell people that I'm doing ACCA, or 6 years back when I used to tell people that I am an ACCA, they used to ask me, what is it? Right?
Yeah,
I used to tell them UK ki CA. But now if I
yeah,
go back and I tell people what is ACCA, they know, you
yeah.
know, the people do know. Now the debate is around what should we do, ACCA or CPA, not that what is ACCA. So the
Mm-hmm.
conversation has shifted. So obviously the brand name is getting established, people are realizing its value. The job market is still not as fluid as for
Mm-hmm.
an Indian CA.
Yes, yes.
Having said that, there are there are some companies that you can work for. Big Four is one of them. All I'm not sure, but all the Big Fours, definitely EY and KPMG, I know, and
Mm-hmm.
Deloitte as well.
Mm-hmm.
They do hire ACCAs now. So
Mm-hmm.
Big Four is a big market. Even outside the Big Four, if you go to ACCA job portal, you will be able to see all the jobs that are listed.
Mm-hmm.
Even a quick search on LinkedIn, where you type your keyword should be ACCA and your job location should be India or whichever city in India is,
Mm-hmm.
will give you a lot of job options that are available. So it's uh, once once ACCA is a requirement for something, you should apply for the role. Having
Mm-hmm.
said that, even if ACCA is not listed in the job description of a company, there's no harm applying and explaining
Mm-hmm.
them how you can add more value.
Mm-hmm.
Example, if a company has a subsidiary or is a subsidiary of a UK listed entity, right? And the job description says they need a CA. Why not speak to the HR and tell them, because you're an ACCA, you know IFRS and you
Yes.
know the tax systems. So you will
Mm-hmm.
be much better aligned to do this role.
Mm-hmm.
So it's also being more proactive, and the onus falls on all of the ACC students, the members, uh, the the affiliates to
Mm-hmm.
try to enrich the name, because it will benefit both the body as well as us.
Yes, that's great. And how did you manage, as you are working in EY, and how did you manage both work and study? Because it will be a very tight situation and deadlines to meet, and
Yeah.
it will be great if you can tell about something like this.
Yeah, I think one of the ways I did it was I planned it in advance. I didn't leave my studies till the
Mm-hmm.
end. Back when I gave my exams used to be every 6 months. Now I think it's every 3 months.
Yes, yes.
So what I did was I started preparing 3 or 4 months in advance. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really leave anything till the end. And I made sure that I give about an hour or 2 hours every day. I
Mm-hmm.
used to live in Delhi and my office used to be in Gurgaon. So I used that time in the cab
Oh, great.
to right. Uh, it's not very good for a person who has motion sickness, but thankfully I didn't. So I was able to do a lot of that, watch lectures or read. I would say utilize time. Uh, Also think about making sure that you are asking your seniors for help.
Mm-hmm.
Help can be in terms of ask them for their tips, and even have a conversation with your counselors or your supervisors or superiors about you need extra time and you need to take some exam leaves, some revision leaves or preparatory leaves, and making that time for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes at work you have to say no, so
Mm-hmm.
that you can prepare for exam. And that's very
Mm-hmm.
important because ultimately whatever you learn through the exam you'll add value back to the job. So there's a bit of a balancing act required. I did it through open communication with my people around me, so they understand that my studies are important, and just by taking some couple of hours each day and preparing in advance.
Great. Tejot, what happens when students complete the ACCA? Many students think they did it what they have to do. What advice you want to give for their career, for their, after getting clear the interview, after getting job, what things they should know, or what they can implement in their workplace.
uh, right, I think that's a if I understand your question is once a person has done ACCA, how they
Mm-hmm.
can add value to the organization. Is that
Mm-hmm.
correct?
Yes, yes.
Right. Uh, so ACCA wants you to have CPD, continuous professional development.
Mm-hmm.
So you log in your hours. I think it's 40 hours. You need to make sure that you have those set up and do it in the area which you are interested in or which are the hot topics. I'll give you my example, like how I'm adding value to the organization where I'm working at.
Mm-hmm.
One of the ways is using data visualization, machine learning, and building apps. Now, I don't come from a technical background, right? Far from
Right.
it. I have a bachelor's in commerce,
Mm-hmm.
but currently we have such because of internet and because of these courses on Coursera, Udemy, and even YouTube, you can learn new skills. Some new skills that I'm learning is Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, and learning SQL. So these are the things which you can club with your ACCA knowledge and become more, merge these together. What happens is, like, the routine accountants of the past have to have a huge transition and they need to become system accountants. They just don't need to have the knowledge of accounts itself, like double entries,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what a system can do, and they can do a much better job.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be more system centric as well and trying to integrate them together. So my advice would be just think more technical, adopt technology, don't run away from it, try to upskill yourself, and think about how you can add value rather than doing the same thing month on month. Uh, And the value addition requires an open conversation with yourself and the people you're trying to help around the organization or the departments.
Mhm.
One of the ways I am doing is automating a lot of functions that would have required a mundane, that would have required a routine work.
Yes, yes.
Example, I'm using Power Automate to create flows within Microsoft so that I can, whenever there is a notification, whenever there is a change in a file, I get
Hmm.
an automatic notification through my email. And this, I have built it by myself without writing a single piece of code
Great.
because everything is available on the internet, everything is available on a template. It just requires a keen mind and a bit of time.
Mm-hmm. That's great. As ACC is also emphasizing on the power of digitalization, the power of technology, and it's a time for the finance professionals and accountants to, be a pro on that also. That's great.
Definitely, I agree with you. Yeah.
Tejot, I see your journey that you moved from Gurgaon to UK. Will be great if you can tell something about this.
Right. It's a very simple answer. The answer being
Mm-hmm.
I was working at EY, and there are these lot of secondment opportunities
Mm-hmm.
uh, at uh, at the global function of EY. So I
Mm-hmm.
got this secondment opportunity to move to Leeds for a year and a half. Leeds is like in north of England, and I gave an interview. The partner of that Leeds office interviewed me, and I got through, and that's how I joined. And trust me, it's not just me. I know probably about 50 plus people just in my circle or my peers who have moved to different countries,
Mm-hmm.
be it US, Canada, UK, Netherlands, Czech Republic, Czech Republic, myself in New Zealand, now Australia. So through this ACCA and through a global network, if, or within your organization, you get a lot of opportunities. You just need to grab them. So yeah, very simple answer. A secondment opportunity took me to the UK.
Great. Then you moved from UK to New Zealand, and
Right,
what how you're working with New Zealand? How's the environment there?
right. And actually,
Mhm.
why I moved from the UK to New Zealand was better immigration policies. Not saying UK doesn't have, but New Zealand has just a fast, faster way to get your residency. That was
Mhm.
one of the main reasons. Uh, and I got again moved internally from UK to New Zealand. And the good thing about New Zealand is the weather is not as I wouldn't say bad, but the weather is not like a UK weather. It's better.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
so I really enjoy that. And it's a really small country. Like we are 5 million people, and people are friendly, very pro immigration, and they are uh, the organizations that I've worked for. This is my I've worked for 3 organizations in New Zealand, and
Mhm.
all 3 of them have been very supportive, and I've met some incredible people. And again, right, if you think about New Zealand, you think about beautiful places.
Yeah.
uh, so it's a stunning country.
Yes,
The
we saw it
countryside.
when Indian team moved to New Zealand. We saw the grounds and everything.
Yeah, right, it's incredible, it's breathtaking. It's the most beautiful country I've been
Yeah.
to. I'm glad that I'm living here. It's got right from the beaches to mountains to you know to great landscape in terms of forest. So it has
Mhm.
everything.
Great. So, what you want to say, people who are watching you,
uh,
students, affiliates, members?
right, I would just say that it's keep your goal in mind, and have a customized goal.
Mm-hmm.
uh, Someone, don't try to follow someone else's dreams or
Mm-hmm.
what someone else is doing. Every journey is different. And
Mm.
remember that you are only one version of yourself. Uh, so just make sure that you have a goal and you're fully committed to achieve it. And that achievement will give you the right rewards. Uh, yeah, I think that's about it.
Thank you, Tejot. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for giving your valuable advice. Thank you for sharing your experiences. I hope it will inspire and motivate many students, many newly affiliates, and thank you for everything. Thank you for joining.
No, thank you so much, Karan. Thanks for having me. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.